Guess that gives us our answer. Everybody, with that cue, I'm going to declare open this meeting, the Design Review Board and Historic Preservation Commission here in the Village of New Paltz. This is our October 2025 meeting. We're opening right at 7 o'clock. Everybody, welcome. Thank you. I think everybody knew in advance from my email that Camilla's out of town and actually out of the country, but I'm sure sends her best regards. How about the minutes from September? That's our first agenda item. Anybody see it?
Other than the spelling of my name, which someone else flagged, it seems fine.
I think that was flagged and corrected. Look without E. Yeah, I got that. Okay, so the motion, no other observations or corrections. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Seconded. Aye. All right, and then all in favor. So did you get the motion, Steve? Second, Jane, unanimous 4-0. Steve, when you were a minute. Good evening. Good evening.
Sorry, guys.
Hey,
Cool, here you guys see a little bit of heat, you okay?
I'm good.
If we need to speak,
It's,
that a little remote.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a specific, update for you guys. First of all, thank you for spending Monday night, in review. There's one thing, I don't know if Mike Baden's been in touch with you all about looking at the proposed code changes.
Yes, it's not on this agenda, that's my oversight, but it's gonna be sort of new business, other business, so I'll let people know.
Yeah, that's an important thing. It's good to have as many eyes who are familiar with codes and community as possible, and certainly this board commission could be helpful in,
When Mike forwarded it to me, probably almost a month ago, he didn't imply that the timeline was tight. Is it tight now? Like,
It's relative thing. He might move it forward and be terrific to get it done before the end of the year.
yeah,
So,
For sure.
it has to go to the public hearing and, you know,
okay, so our input after the November 10th, I think it is, meeting
yeah,
would be good timing.
sure,
Okay,
sure. And there's some very good things in there, the clarifications, the definitions particularly would be of interest. So I recommend it.
I will just say, I actually emailed Mike today to say that I'd had a look at the changes, and a lot of them were additions, and they're very positive. It's just like getting some design preferences and in some cases standards written into the code, and they align very well with what we've been trying to do.
Yeah,
So I think this will be,
it's time clearly to clarify and to straighten out what was our existing code. He's
Yeah.
done a remarkable job
That's
of
wonderful.
corralling the language and sections. Other than that, I don't really have big questions. If you have some interest or concerns.
no, this month I usually do. This
Yeah.
month I don't.
Are you having a December meeting?
Probably not. The only thing, usually we don't, and so probably not.
Okay,
If there's some burning thing, we've sometimes done a one agenda item meeting to
right.
get something over the finish line.
Yeah, so when's your next meeting? Is it
November 10th.
10th? Okay, it's a Monday.
Sure.
Good. All right, I know when I sit down, I will think of what I need to say, but, yeah, those boards, moving along with this particular project, paying a lot of attention to it, so,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it's definitely on the
yeah,
radar.
planning board's looking at it, I think members of the ZBA are looking at it.
Yeah,
So anyone who's had a chance to page through code being listed.
yeah. No, it's a really positive step, and I think, it's sort of on me to get to package the stuff that Mike sent and send it out to you all. And I think you'll see that it's really a positive.
Yeah.
Bill, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, good. Mo and Roddy, would you like to come to the table? Am I correctly surmising that you might be here for school? Welcome.
You are correct.
Would you like to give your names to our secretary, just to
The-
already taken care of? While we're getting set up, yeah, please. While we're getting set up, do you have any questions that I can answer?
Hey,
I was just curious about the agenda, but it should be posted.
Hey, how are you?
Yes, I have only my own printed copy, but it is posted. You could actually probably pull it up on your phone. Sarah, you don't have a paper copy of the agenda? No. Thank you. Thanks very much. There we go. We'll save that. So, welcome. Welcome back, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So my understanding was that you're well along the planning board,
Yeah,
discussion.
this is an extension on the already approved that we were here for, back in 2021.
Yeah.
So they're just approving the extension, so we had to do a site plan review, which nothing has changed. The building itself, the amount of apartments, the affordable units, the site plan did not change. The only thing that did change is the alignment of the windows. So the windows are now basically, they're all centered, where before the previous architect, Kim Hoover, had them just a little bit, off kilter from one another. But now they're all even on both sides, right?
Okay.
And then the other thing, there was a tri-color effect that was happening, in the previous renderings. We've gone with this monotone, scheme here. This is just more relevant. The architect that we're using now at Poughkeepsie Jason's, the way he's classing, is calling this timeless.
Mhm.
That tri-color scheme we were having before is really a fad. It kind of went in and came back out, no one's really doing that anymore, so to build something that was a fad during the early, 2020, 2021,
Mhm.
doesn't seem really correct. It's doing the community a disservice, us as developers a disservice. So we wanted to go with something timeless, classic. This is actually a sample here, so renderings are always a little tough at 110%, so it looks a little gray here, but as you can see, it's really like a dark forest green.
Okay, is that what the manufacturer calls it? Do you know what the?
It's a type of green, but I'm not
Okay.
sure exactly what.
It's cypress?
That might be it, yeah.
Yes. Cause I think forest green would be a good deal.
And this is also a newer material where this is eco-friendly, sustainable. It adds an R value. It's recyclable. You're also getting a lot more life out of this. So this is giving you 40 years.
Mhm.
This is important because of waste, right? You don't want to buy something that's even 20 years, right? That's a good life cycle, but we're talking about doubling that, It's gonna be easy to clean for us and to keep it clean, which is important. We don't want dirty buildings, right? The community we don't want. So, and the fact that it's sustainable and adds an R value also, creates a sound barrier, I guess, because of the R value, which is gonna be really good for the residents and the commercial tenants. So this is really the newest addition. We're doing black siding windows. Now, what's not clear here is that, the siding, the windows and casings, they're gonna be 3.5 inches. And
Okay.
black aluminum. You can't really tell that here, but it's gonna be more pronounced, on the building. And we still have the stonework on the bottom. That was in the previous. We did go higher with the stone in the middle. And let's see, where the solar panels haven't changed, that was part of the original drawing. I think that's it. Those are the major changes really the size. Oh, in the center, Tom, you had mentioned this last time we were here. These, I don't know, what and there's like a name, but I don't know what it is. These peaks here, right? These are gonna be hardy board. Okay, and there's, so that three, and that's in the front and the back. And that was your recommendation the last time. That's still gonna be that way.
Okay, so that material that has a kind of almost Tudor
Yes,
raised, that's a pure hardy board
that's
on
correct.
each of those bump outs.
Yes.
Interesting.
Would you paint that to match this siding?
Yes, yep.
Thank you for that overview. That, I'm trying to think if we were all on the commission when we first approved. this.
George was not.
So I think only George hasn't really seen this. It's massively improved since the first iteration. Credit to you guys.
Yeah.
A little bit of credit to us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's looking good. George and I have talked about one other thing, which is, metal roofing, on the
lower
on the,
roofs,
on the
just the
lower.
lower roofs.
Sure,
I think it'll pop, give it a nice pop, and
okay. Were you thinking black to match the windows?
I think that would be
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
Okay, I think, yeah, that's definitely something we can do.
Yeah,
And we can write that up and
yeah.
put that in a memo to you tomorrow morning.
Well, I wanted to tell you, so the planning board meets again
Yeah.
tomorrow night, so I promised, Mike Baden that I would have something to him
Sure.
tonight, first thing tomorrow, and I will copy you on that, so you're
Sure.
going in with our summary and our agreements tonight. I think that I'm with George on that. I think that's gonna achieve two things. It adds a little more warmth and character.
Okay,
And it may also speak to this issue that we still want to talk about, whether that thing that your architect is calling a fad, and it may be. But we've also got a nice opportunity to think about ways to kind of reduce the monolithic
mhm,
quality, because that's something that we really have been all the way up and down North Chestnut, trying to avoid 60, 80-foot sections of the same thing.
sure,
And thankfully, your design is already kind of doing that with those three gable.
yeah, and also with the different textures.
Right.
The Hardy Backer does give a different texture than this. This does almost look wood, like, it being a newer material and sustainable, like, and also, like, the architect tried to, with the molding and the gables, that should break it up, hopefully, and provide enough, contrast to make it, as an improvement.
Shay, what's your sense of what architects are saying about the faddishness versus the uniform color?
I don't know, I hadn't heard that, but I mean, I think it looks good the way it is, and I think the windows add a new color and the roof, is gonna be different. I like the idea of making it all monotone. Like, I don't know about like larger trends, but I think like in this instance, I think that's a good design choice. I mean, I could see it, with like all the trim being a different color, but I think just the design decisions that have been made already kind of separate the different kind of parts of the building. So I think it is a little cleaner maybe to kind of just to have like a monolithic color for the siding, for the the kind of paneling on like the gable ends, and then have the windows and the roofing and the stone. I mean, there is a pretty decent amount of different materials here, so I kind of like the idea of keeping it monolithic.
And the stone, does have some tan, and it's not all gray like this. It is broken up to, tan and
Yeah.
white and gray. So it's not reflective of here, but, we looked at samples and we definitely wanted something that was, I wouldn't say tricolor, but definitely was warm.
Yeah, it has a little mix.
Yeah, it was a mix. It
Yeah.
doesn't look like concrete.
Yeah.
All three colors are not on the gray scale, I would say.
I also think since there's so much paneling, which is nice, if that was a different color, you know, it might just look really unbalanced, you know? Yeah, too busy, exactly. So I think it kind of like having the same color kind of brings everything together and like
But yes,
the
there's
different
nice
details
detail.
kind of speak for itself.
Yeah.
When I got my instructions from the planning board, that was the specific
Yes,
question. I can even quote the question. This must be verbatim from what you heard, whether you would consider breaking up the exterior with a lighter shade of gray for the 3 hardy board segments, which would create at least some contrast against monotone gray. And so we definitely want to answer that question.
Sure.
Whenever we end up doing it. What's the total length of the structure?
well, it's a 20,000 square foot building, so.
Do you remember?
They don't
what the-
have-
I think it's 140.
140. That's a lot of feet. I mean, it's true, but
Either 140 or 100, one of those two numbers, that's 100. It's broken up very nicely with those 3 bump outs and the roofs.
Yeah, I think the
All the
black
windows is symmetrical and
nice.
nice.
and the gable trim boards,
Mhm,
those would be hardy board as well.
that's right, and painted that color to, you know, for, the accent is gonna be that it's the molding itself.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing here is you could, you know, if it's up and potentially doesn't look the way you hoped, you know, maybe just painting some of that trim
right,
solves it. It's one of those things where like you look at the rendering and it looks right, and then it's a building and it doesn't look right, or vice versa. So I could see reserving that possibility.
what's nice is those are paintable, right, so, you know. We can, you know, in the future, we can change them, you know, it's something that really, we're going for this look, but. If it goes up and it's too cold, you know, that might be something that we could look into. But
I'm comfortable leaving that as, you know, I guess ultimately up to you.
yeah,
We're here to-
you know, I mean, we picked that product, the hardy board, you know, was your recommendation from our last time here years ago, and, we think it's the right choice, and the fact that it's customizable is important for us as well, to be part of the gables, so. I think that's gonna be a working process, but something that, we're gonna leave open.
I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, me too.
Stephen, how?
I think it's pretty good. Did you have to do some rearranging when the rail trail connector went in? Did you have to rearrange your parking at all?
No,
Or
that was drawn in, we've known about that since we were here. So they kind of surprised us. They showed up one day and said, hi, we're putting the rail trail connection in right now. Like, we didn't put up a new building yet. They're like, no, it's happening today.
I mean, in some ways it helps. That it's not a
Pedestrian
variable
safety-
anymore, right?
No, the pedestrian safety we see a big difference. The connections being used a lot.
It's tremendous use of people that come on the bikes, and especially in the weekends. When all the bikers, they come from Henry Du Bois to cross the street. It's more organized, you know, they hit the light, they wait for the light, and they go,
Yeah, it is.
and the kids say,
I'm one of those.
even kids, they not afraid to cross the street with the light and around there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And people are going to Stewart's as was expected, and that's why the light went there.
Yeah. I think you're gonna have a clientele that wants to live here because of the
Yeah.
proximity, either for walking or biking.
That was the goal, right, for us was to, you know, I mean, the village had approached us and said. You know, we have a problem, there's no connection, so I said, how can we help? And so they proposed it, you know, we saw it as a benefit for everybody, the community and us. So it worked for everyone, but the easement is done, it's there.
It's great.
It's helping the community, so that's good.
I have a couple of questions. What is the main roof color?
Oh, boy. The architect didn't come back and mention that might be different, but it's.
It looks like it's weathered wood, and that would be a good color. Okay, that green color.
I can, let me take that down.
Yeah, George suggests weathered wood. Is that a GAF product?
That's a GAF product, yes.
George suggests weathered wood. I mean, one of the things we may want to do is get a bundle and just put it there and, because it is.
And match it up.
Yeah, just to your satisfaction.
That's a good
You
idea.
can see weathered wood, all our buildings at the ridge are weathered wood,
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
and we have that green color, it looks really nice.
so I'll go to George and get it. I'm sure, yeah.
Another thing I just want to bring to your attention is the windows, when you order the casing, whether you order 3.5 or brick mold, they make it. A lot of companies make it pre-J. This way you don't have to put J channel around the windows,
I see,
which highlights the vinyl.
okay.
So, and almost all the companies make it, so pre-J
Okay,
window casing.
Yeah, let's really think about that, because that's one of the things that kind of detracts, that's one of the downsides of this product,
J
is
channel.
you'll get J channels all over the place, and if you can get windows that do that, so I'm imagining that you've got a sort of flat face with a little.
There's a little notch,
It's
it's a J channel
It's
in
a
the back.
J integrated,
Correct.
that's a really good.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, I took that note and for the color suggestion as well, so
Good,
we're gonna pass that to the architect.
and the manufacturers who do that, they pretty much all of it.
You gotta, it depends who they're buying the windows from, but they could look into it, there's
Yeah.
quite a few companies that do it.
Yeah, we're looking at Anderson and Pella, so those are
They're gonna-
the big ones, yeah.
Yeah.
And Mo, the last thing I just wanted to bring to your attention is the doors on the commercial.
Yeah.
You see the frames are very thick on the doors, and then the side panel, it's more glass.
Mhm.
They make those doors to match the side panel, all glass.
Okay,
And then you won't have that big, thick frame on one side and not the other.
I see.
Yeah,
And, it's no difference in cost or anything, it's just a matter of ordering it the right way.
Right, right. And we're gonna put the, so there's not gonna be any face mounted signs this is gonna be office space.
okay.
It's gonna be etched in the glass.
Nice,
Oh,
beautiful.
that's nice.
So that's even more important,
Right.
that you don't have so much frame.
Mhm.
And, I changed the door in my back office and I put the one with more glass and you'll see it there.
Okay,
And it looks nice when you edge it.
yeah, I'm gonna, these are all great notes.
Yeah.
And that's it. Otherwise, it's an amazing improvement.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see this.
Going elegant. Are you on a timeline? Are you hoping to
Yeah.
break ground?
We're on a very, yeah, we're trying to get this off the ground this year,
Okay,
so,
so that's gonna mean demo. right?
yes.
Okay, that's gonna be the end of an era.
I'll find a place to play with cards.
That's good. Did we have a conversation about hipping the roofs on the entryways?
No,
Could we just indulge me for a minute on that?
sure.
So when I say hip, so you have what are known as shed style
Mhm.
entries. A hip is a shed with angled sides.
Oh, I
And
see.
it's just a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Elegant maybe, but
Mhm.
gentle. I don't think it'd be, I mean, you haven't done construction drawings or anything yet, so there's still lots of time to explore this.
Sure.
But let me ask my colleagues, does that seem like an improvement to you?
I kind of think the shed works better in this design,
Okay,
in this like craftsman style design. Yeah, I kind of like the way it is.
okay, so there's one.
I mean, I don't know, I mean, I do kind of feel like those areas need like a little bit more detail or something, but maybe it's just, it looks like there's like a little bit of trim on the columns. The columns are kind of like,
There's like a collar.
yeah, like maybe the trim should be a little bit more robust, like kind of like how it is on the building. I don't know, like the columns just look a little kind of, I mean, I hate this word, but like kind of like spindly, like they need like a little bit more detail or something. I think the shed works, but I kind of see where Tom is coming from, where it's like, the building has some nice details and like the shed, all the shed, little kind of, entrances areas, just looks like there should be like a little bit more detail and maybe like, I don't know, maybe some brackets or something, I don't know, but so it's just like a little bit more detail there.
What if we wrap them in something else?
Yeah,
Well, you know, Shane, HB&G make craftsman style columns and they have all the detail on them.
Oh, yeah,
In their concrete. And I think the more important thing, and I can help you with that if you like, is to get a bigger size and not a would-be 4 or 6, get an 8.
yeah,
And an 8-inch column there in those craftsman style, and again, they're all precast, they're easy to deal with, they paint easy and they don't rot, they last forever. And they come with a capital and a base and then some detail,
yeah,
which adds some up.
yeah, I
Make
think, I
it
think
complex
maybe just,
before.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a nice example, the building that just went up on, South
Next to
End,
them.
the,
The M&T Bank.
retirees.
Next to
yeah.
M&T Bank.
No, further down on Manheim, although that's also true, right next to the M&T Bank, they have plinths. And, I think those were original, right? But,
Those are original.
yeah, I mean, that's a
Change up.
very nice look to consider, where you'd have like, those columns might end in a, you know, cement plinth, maybe using the same material or something else. But the one I was thinking of is the, senior living complex that went up right next to the ridge. Across from campus.
Live
Yeah,
place.
yeah,
Live Oak's place.
Yeah, that had, what you were talking about, those, and.
Yeah, it's a little bit, but we also worked with them on those columns and they came out really nice. And to George's point, you don't want 4 or 6 inch,
No,
they're just gonna look like little sticks.
Yeah.
You know, there's still enough time for us to keep talking about this. You can come back, we can do site visits, George can help. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
kind of why we're here.
That'd be great.
that'd be great. Any piece of help or improvement in the project will be,
Yeah, we're definitely open.
we're open to it.
Stephen, do you have thoughts on the style of roof?
I could go either way, if it's roof or not.
Then I guess it sounds like I'm the only one who really feels that way. I think it's the 2 larger ones that just feel kind of shed-like to me. I grew up in farm country in Ohio, and like a shed roof feels like something that sticks up the side of the barn that somebody did on a weekend.
I'm all fond of hip roofs on porches too, and I have them on my own personal house, but I think on this kind of design, it really works, the shed roof.
Okay. Yep, so I'm backing off that, but I think we're onto something where like there's a real potential to dress up those entryways with the right kind of column. George has a manufacturer. You could take a look at
Yeah,
that,
totally.
that beautiful renovation right next to your office, right? Next to the M&T Bank.
Yeah, no,
Came
fun.
out great.
Yeah.
And then have a look at Live Oak's place, which is about to open. It's a really
Yeah, I've
successful
been inside a couple of times.
shopping crew.
Shopping.
This sounds good. Time to recap?
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to?
No, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Okay.
I just had a question about like landscaping.
Sure.
Cause, I mean, Zero Place, it's not like there's a whole lot of landscaping around the building, but. You know, like, you're gonna read this building right next to Zero Place, so I feel like you're gonna want, you know, some amount of trees and plants and stuff, probably, right?
Yeah, I think this rendering does a better job of showing the landscaping.
So, okay, so yeah, so the front, it's like the planters, I mean, that makes sense. I like how the building is right on the sidewalk, like that all looks good, but I guess in the back. You're probably gonna want to shield like headlamps and stuff. You know, out towards Huguenot Street, so.
Well, there's a rail trail right on.
Yeah, no, I know that, but, like, between Zero Place and the rail trail, like, there's, you know, there's kind of like, I don't know, some natural kind of planting going on. There's not really anything behind that building on the other side, though, where you know, but there's like that PT place.
Oh,
So,
that's all open, but it's what behind us right now is a whole tree line.
okay,
Yeah, it's,
so the plan is to maintain that,
oh, yeah.
okay, and then,
The planning board has asked us to maintain that.
okay, cool.
That is not.
There's like,
So then
there's
those
like
trees-
a little creek down back.
Yeah, right, and it's fully, we can't see the person behind us from
Yeah.
our property. You can't see the rail trail from behind the shop as of right now, and we're gonna maintain that tree line. Yeah, we're not opening it up and landscaping and putting in grass. Similar to what Village Pizza, Shirley's has now. It's
Yeah,
not-
Yeah, they
not
just
that.
got, they just got.
Right, they just kind of, right, no, that's
Which
not
then
what,
it's,
no.
Alright, so then everything, I guess, west of like the parking area is just gonna remain as is, and it's just gonna be like dense
Just gonna be
planting.
cleaned up, you know,
Yeah.
we're gonna trim all the trees and whatever grass back there grows between us.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty robust tree line now.
That's good.
Then I guess it looks like in the renderings, there's something, yeah, kind of like hiding the parking on like the southeast side. There's like a little kind of hedgerow there on the front. Okay, good.
Yes.
Alright. Okay, and actually, I do see now that there's at least one tree, maybe two or three small trees on the street side, it looks like.
Yeah, in front of the commercial windows.
Yeah, okay.
Next.
Yeah, cause I know that there are like a couple trees like in front of, you know, the street, at Zero Place, so I don't know, I just feel like you might wanna continue that look, like at least with one or two trees, but it looks like you already have that, so.
Anything else?
Oh, like, what about like building, like exterior lighting on the building? Maybe that's something that we just honestly talk about later, cause I'm not really seeing anything proposed.
We submitted a dark sky plan,
Okay,
and with our, original application, and that's still being maintained, downward facing
okay,
lights that are kind of dark sky compliant, basically.
Yeah, no, that's important.
Yeah, no sign, no, we're not illuminating the sign. You know, that says Chestnut Square, we're not illuminating that, and. That was part of our original proposal, and we're sticking to that.
And all the other signage is gonna be etched glass,
That's
right?
correct.
Okay.
And that's just to minimize the busyness.
I think that's a great idea. Do you know if the architect intended, there are two lighting fixtures, street lamp style,
Yeah,
are those generic or it's,
yeah, those are in there.
yeah, I don't think that's in,
No.
like what's pictured there is
No,
not,
no.
not in
No,
the
yeah.
picture. Again, that's something that we're happy to help with. We talked about lighting with several big projects now on the street and also at Live Oaks Place, and you know, I think it's been successful.
Yeah,
One of the things that Shane raised is we also want to be talking about the color of the light, so that, you know, eventually North Chestnut's going to be a series of complexes,
sure.
and we don't want to be jumping from really yellow light to really white light.
Right, well, you know, the interesting thing about us is that we have stewards illuminating that whole corner, so we might not need someone. You know, it's a circus over there and they're lit up 24/7, so. But no, we don't want a steward's feel to the outdoor lighting, absolutely not. So,
Okay.
you know, we will reach out and get your suggestions when we're doing that.
Yeah, and we can do that, in all likelihood, we can just do that, you know, with one or two of us visiting, just, I don't think it needs a meeting.
Okay,
You know, if we
great.
just agree to, and do a good conclusion. Okay. Stephen, anything you wanted to?
No.
I've been sort of taking notes toward my summary recap, yeah.
Good.
Okay, George, anything else?
Good.
Okay, so here's what I have. Let's make sure I have it all and I'm not misrepresenting anything. So what will go forward to the planning board is that we agree that the basically monochromatic color scheme is fine. It's gonna be cypress, we think, but it's the siding we have on the end. With hardy board to match. Trim
Hardy board painted to match.
painted to match. And the trim is sort of to be determined according to what it looks like once it's up. And just keep an open mind about that
Sure.
at your service. The window is black 3.5-inch casing with integrated J channels, a really good suggestion.
Yeah.
I'd like to put that in writing.
Sure.
That's gonna
a good
save
suggestion.
really, that'll just improve things a lot. So that's windows, columns to be determined, but what we were talking about is making sure you have enough weight and that they have enough detail that's sort of picking up the, character of the building. And I'm gonna make a note that George can help with that.
Great.
You mentioned the menu.
Yeah, 8-inch minimum.
8-inch minimum.
And, yeah, they could call me and I'll get them a cut sheet on that.
Okay, and possibly plinths, just building them up and then that can dress things up. I'm not sure that's the right solution.
Or maybe like, I don't know, maybe rafter tails or something, like, I don't know. Something to just, I'm not trying to like add no cost at all, but just, I feel like there's like ways that you could make those sheds like a little bit more interesting that doesn't add a whole lot of cost or any cost maybe, just.
Yeah.
You know.
You know what rafter tails?
I don't.
So when a rafter ends, usually it's just sawed off square or at a uniform angle, but if you have a little curve on it, that becomes a decorated rafter tail and it can do wonders.
Yeah, I don't know, I mean.
It may not be the answer.
Yeah, I'm just throwing ideas like that, I feel like the sheds just need, I don't know, just a little bit more detail. Just because
Another roof is gonna help.
Yeah,
And
that's
the
pretty
nice detailed columns.
columns, yeah, maybe that'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we thought the black metal roof or matching, but
Black.
Black to match
Yeah.
windows.
black to match. And then the shingles per se would be gaff weathered wood you suggested looking at, but probably it's best to get a sample and put them side by side, make sure you're happy.
Yeah, we're happy to do that.
That sounds great. And then the signage, the Chestnut Square sign, I'm sure is already conforming to sign.
It was presented at the last meeting.
Okay, not illuminated, everything else is etched glass, I'll make sure to mention that. And then the lighting as represented is generic, not what it should end up being, but we're there to help you.
Okay, great.
We'll follow up with DR.
We appreciate all your comments.
We appreciate how much this has improved, it's great.
Well, we're ready to build, so that's good.
And then the solar, I guess I should mention, solar panels are unchanged. Are you gonna get, it looks like not enough for the building, but maybe for like common areas?
Common areas, yep,
That'll be great, that
and electric car chargers. Those are going as well, yep.
could move. That's good, I'll mention that. Let's see, I don't think I've missed anything.
No, I think that's good.
Okay, so I will have that to you by tomorrow morning.
Great.
In good time for the planning board. I
Thank
wish you luck tomorrow.
Thank
We
you.
need to vote on it.
Yeah, I guess we do. Yeah, so,
So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the new design as per all the items discussed with the client that they agreed to.
yeah,
Second.
okay. So George moves, Stephen seconds, all those in favor? Okay. Wonderful. Great. You know what else occurs to me? Camilla can't be at this meeting, but she's so good with color. So if anything comes up with making sure that you're happy with the roof matching the siding or the trim, if you want to do something with it, she's great. I mean, there are probably a dozen projects in the community that she's consulted on. She'll be back for the next meeting, or she'll be back at the end of the month.
All right, we'll consider that, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for these three, those are thoughtful. Very nice. Updates and discussion. So many of these are quick. I'm not considering the first one that is either long or short, but we don't have the applicants with us tonight, so this isn't like a really, granular discussion. But, I have a suggestion that I wanted your input and vote if necessary. I was thinking that it might be good for the clients and for us to send a delegation, or to offer a delegation to Rizal, Marietta, and maybe the architect, just to kind of hear how they're hearing the public comments, to share the two, we're now up to 3 appendices. We've probably got 70 different comments from the public. And I think that probably the best and fairest thing would be to reach out before the next meeting and just kind of get a sense of what their timetable is, where they are, the planning board. My suggestion would be that George and I be that delegation. And if you agree, then I think what we would like is to hear what we should highlight as what you saw in the public comments. So I guess there are 2 questions there. One is, do you like the delegation idea? It can't be a delegation of more than 2, because then we're quorum and then it's business outside of the meeting, and that's not the intent anyway. But just to kind of hear what they're thinking, whether there's going to be a significant design change or not, and just kind of, get ready for the next time we have a public meeting.
I think that sounds great. If you're willing to do it, thank you.
I'm definitely willing to do it if you guys are okay.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I like that idea.
You'd be okay joining me on that? I said George partly because George and I are also retired. George is retired with me. And secondly, you were sort of brought in pretty early on this project by the board there, so I think there's some continuity.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so if we agree on that, I'll just say what the things that most occurred to me in the comments that we heard: concern over green space, concern over parking, mostly too much of it, too much asphalt, concern over the siting.
Yeah.
Quite a few comments suggested moving it more to the street side. And I think a distant third would be, some people didn't like the design. A lot of people didn't say anything negative about the design so much as the size, siting,
Yeah,
and parking.
should we rank those, prioritize them?
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, I think it'd be helpful to us. My intent would be to share everything that we've seen. And I'm seeing members of the public here. I don't know if you're interested in this issue.
Of course.
Okay, so we have scrupulously kept every comment received by email, and even added one that wasn't received by email but was sent to the paper. And we have summarized everything that was heard at the last meeting. So I'm guessing we're north of 50, maybe as many as 70 different comments from the public, which we have looked at, and now we're trying to summarize with the idea of talking to the historic Huguenot Street and just see where they are with the comments.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Does your purview, or is it with the planning board only, the traffic and the roads in and out?
It's only really obliquely ours. I mean, the quick answer is planning board.
That's what.
And I think we did also hear that, so that's actually helpful.
Yeah.
Some concerns about where the traffic enters and
Exactly,
exits, or enters especially from the south end.
exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's no, thank you for jogging. Not really our purview, but it is related to where the asphalt might end up.
Yeah.
How much of it is. So what else did you get out of the comments?
I mean, I think everything that you said, I mean, I think if I had to rank them, it would probably be like green space, number one.
Mhm.
And then, I mean, there's a lot of overlapping, I mean, also like parking, asphalt, but that's kind of, the same.
Yeah, I kind of,
Same sense, and then, I guess like the location of the building, which also kind of overlaps with the green space.
Mhm.
So I don't know, I mean, I feel like maybe this, like the location might be the number one thing, just because it kind of touches on all those other important issues. But yeah, there's nothing else really that. And yeah, it was, I got the same sense that those were the major issues that everyone cared about.
Yeah, another thing I think we could discuss with them is the size of the building. If it's really need, if they really need a building that size,
Yeah,
and if it could be minimized somewhat.
yeah, I mean, I also think, I agree, I also think though, like, if they moved it to, what was it? Broadhead, that might alleviate,
That's correct.
like, I feel like they'll have more of an opportunity to build a larger building there as opposed to kind of like smack in the middle of the lawn, and even when I was walking by that lawn the other night, there are like some really big, beautiful old trees there that would have to go down. I mean, I overlaid the full site plan onto Google Earth and yeah, I mean, it didn't really come up in the last meeting, but a lot of those nice trees would have to go, and I think that came up as well also.
Oh, yeah, they did give a number. I think it was maybe different from what was first proposed, but it's somewhere in the low teens or
Yeah,
12. And, that's a significant.
no, for sure. I mean, especially there's like one or two that are really big and old and, they seem really healthy, so. Anyway, so I don't know, I feel like I agree with you, George, the size, but, I feel like they'll have more flexibility to maybe obtain the size, the building size that they want if they maybe first and foremost prioritize just, relocating it.
Did you guys read their story in the Daily Freeman, their quotes from HHS, where they said, plans to present modified plans for the historic sites, proposed $5 million plus visitor center off Broadhead after neighbors have expressed concerns about the proposal. Fairly significant tweaks to the approximately 7,400 square foot building to the village planning board on November 17th.
Okay.
So that seems to be there. People will see fairly significant tweaks that hopefully address their concerns and hopefully will go from there. LaFrance said proposed modifications include taking a second look at potential new parking lot and the positioning of the facility to preserve more green space. That's very important to the neighborhood, she said. One other quote was, she said the new plans prepared by project architect Anderson Design will bring an overhang in the facility, but so far the new plans have stopped short of reducing interior space. So they seem to be doing as much as they can to change without, to quote, those space needs are real.
Yeah.
So maybe the awning has shrunk.
Oh, the overhang.
The overhang. What's the date of that article?
The 17th.
17th.
Can you send that to us?
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, me either.
Let me see if I can.
Was that Hudson thing on?
No, it's in the Freeman,
Oh, okay, I didn't see it.
which I have it as an app that works, but nowhere else.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that would be really helpful, because we may have some of our questions answered right there. Do we want to prioritize? I mean, it's a short enough list that maybe.
Yes.
Maybe not out there.
Maybe it's not necessary.
The public comments were quite consistent. I mean,
Yeah.
there were a few little outliers, but they often had to do with these basically 5 themes, 4 really, 4 to 5. Okay. If everybody's comfortable with that, I think I will offer that. And it's just a matter of getting 4 or maybe 5 schedules together. Sounds like if they're going to the planning board on the 17th, we may not see them until early 26. It should be fine.
Right, whatever they do.
Good. Before we move on, since you're here, was there anything?
No, it's not the next thing.
Oh, it's the very next thing. Okay. Oh, I think I know. Yes, we're going to talk about
I
that.
promised you a picture and I brought one.
Okay, terrific. So does everybody agree that that's our
Yes.
plan?
Yeah.
And I will certainly report back, or George and I will report back if the meeting is accepted. And by the way, no agenda. I mean, I really just want them to see all the comments that we've received, because I don't think they have. And, have a conversation about what the thing means.
Yeah.
And maybe get a peek at what they're.
Great, sure.
Great.
Yep.
Great overview. Okay, thanks. On to the next agenda item, which is the railroad siding project. Please.
Well, I'm Kathy Pitts and this is Charlotte Moss. We
Please.
both from, Country Condos. And I tried to describe this to you. We've seen these rails that were deposited on the ranch trail.
Yes.
This is us. It's huge. Condominium. Us. And this is our parking that is right across from where they brought these rails on the other side of the rail trail. So we're not engineers. We kind of didn't literally. We kind of put this together just so you could eyeball why we're concerned, because if they land their caboose here, then people are gonna be very tempted to use our parking to just, because we have little pathways here. to the
And
horse.
or the parking for the restaurant that's right there.
Yes.
Right.
Does this make sense to you? Do you know what we're looking at? That's the Chalbella.
Yeah,
Yes.
the dumpster. And
That's the dumpster for the Chalbella's over here, right on the rail trail. The old rail station.
Yep.
And then the other concern is on this side of the rail trail, this is green, growing things, but then there's this steep eroding ridge. And we're like, how are they gonna put this here? And right here, where the post office parks their trucks, it looks like they're gonna just fall downhill. Because this is being undermined every time it rains.
Yeah.
And then we've got these huge propane tanks, which I put in the wrong place. They're up here on top of the ridge, but they're enormous. And then there's other propane tanks here, which I'm just thinking, when they were sited there, they're sited far away from where people gather. They're up above the rail trail, but then if this is here, it's very close to propane tanks. I didn't know if that's a concern.
It would be. Let me tell you what the current thinking is. So, 200 feet, the goal is 200 feet of track, more or less starting where the Rotary Park is.
Wow.
And so the good news is that that actually terminates right about there, where the shed. You remember that the restaurant to the north side has a roughly 20-foot shed space.
Mhm.
It would end right about there, so there wouldn't be rails north of that.
Okay,
Okay.
So the good news is that
yes,
the whole infrastructure would end there.
right.
So we're not gonna have a caboose here.
No, and let me assure you, this little group that I'm a part of, we're struggling to put rails onto the ground financially.
I would think.
The caboose or the engine or anything, if it's in my lifetime, I will be surprised because it would just, it would take. I'm estimating that just to put those 200 feet of rail and do a sign is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 25,000 or a lot more. I don't know.
I would imagine,
And we don't have a dime.
right.
So I, getting a caboose or a train car, I mean, that's hundreds of thousands to move, to restore, to, make a base that's strong. We're not thinking in those terms.
So it would be, the idea is it would be a museum?
The idea really is that as you're walking along the rail trail, which again would be about here, you would see this section of track. And let's say you're walking with your kids would say, what's that?
Mhm.
And you as a
Could be
parent or an
Yeah.
aunt or uncle would say, well, a long time ago, there was track all the way on what we've been walking, plus there were these things called sidings, which is where the commercial activity took
Like a
place.
spur?
Yeah, it's another name for it.
Okay.
And I just did this presentation, which is really what I wanted to say. I just addressed the Rotary Club to explain all this because they put in the part of the south end of this. And the whole idea is just to kind of restore the public awareness that these sidings or these spurs existed. And that's what built up New Paltz.
Absolutely.
That's where manufactured goods came in, went out, coal, lumber, agricultural products, and especially the big one was dairy products.
And tourism,
And tourism.
we even back then,
One of the things that I learned is that the rail came in 6 months after Mohawk
yeah.
opened, and immediately Mohawk was advertising, like
Yeah.
the New York and Philly papers.
Yeah.
Like the train.
Here's how you do it. This is the train you take.
Oh,
A
wow.
carriage will be waiting. It'll cost you $1.25 to get through the hill.
Yeah.
Your trunk costs 50 cents. I mean, they had it all worked out. So yeah, tourism as well as these products.
Right.
I'm really glad you came, but I hope I can assure you that like none of this, the placement of the rails is just an arbitrary temporary thing
Okay.
until they can get in the ground. And actually, just today, another member of this committee that I'm on, wrote up a proposal to have the landscaper who's gonna do, we hope, some drainage to move these
Which
things.
is really important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gotta run. Way down here is a pipe that's sort of very close to Main Street. It's a 6, maybe 8-inch pipe that we don't know if it's active or not, but if it is.
So Kathy showed that one, that other drain back there by the dumpster, there's a
There's a-
drain.
Yeah.
And
When we were measuring today, I just cleared that off with my feet. It was totally clogged with stuff. Small trees and leaves. So I don't think anyone's, well, they probably do pay attention to it, but it happens.
I would, that's probably not their highest priority,
Yeah,
but this is all happening way down here.
okay.
And the worry is that, the runoff from the Karma Road parking lot
Mhm.
could
Right.
just, well, we don't know that yet, so
Right.
that's why we have to get a
Right.
pro in.
So could you show me again, you said it wouldn't come further,
So-
which side of?
So this is the dumpster for the restaurant.
Yeah, so the
Uh,
restaurant's where they're.
The restaurant
Yeah.
is sort of there,
Yes,
and the idea would be that the train tracks would start pretty much at that semicircular rotary park.
they would actually use that one?
Run, well, not go into it, but maybe
Okay.
let's say 6 to 10 feet off it
Okay.
would be a
In
sign
this- Oh,
in this direction, would be the sign that explains what the siding is. And
Okay.
then there'd be roughly, if we can afford it, 200 feet of it. But 200 feet would take us to the,
okay. Because this is a little more than 100 feet, these 12 spaces.
yeah. But that's probably a good 75 feet from the last part of the terminus.
Okay,
And I really mean it. I just don't see a universe in which there's a train car
okay.
anytime soon. Maybe ever. I just don't know where the money
But
would.
even if it's that much further, people might not even think to use these parking spaces for it.
Yeah, I mean, people do use our parking
Yeah.
spaces for all these holiday events and different things that go on in New Paulsville.
Do you think they're going to restaurants from
Oh,
here?
yes, oh, absolutely. We've had restaurant employees park in
Yeah.
our parking and go to work, you know.
Interesting. I've
And then-
noticed that the Clemson Brothers
Hmm,
seems to be out of business,
Yeah.
I guess, but I noticed their parking lot gets used.
Yes.
that would be such a great evenized visitor center.
and
Costs a lot less than $5 to $7 million
with the
with 60 parking
village
spaces.
offices.
Brewing.
Yeah, with.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Let's not lose sight of what's important here.
And 60 parking spaces.
Well, again, without a rail car, I think that these tracks are gonna be something people spend 5 minutes at and carry on with their dog walking. I mean, I really,
Oh, so the idea is to position the rails. And then at some point, put a
So
caboose.
kind of like what's over at the walkway, with the caboose at the walkway there, you know.
but again, I don't see a
Oh.
world unless we get a donor with 100,000 plus. Because, these cars are often in faraway places, it's specialized, you need a specialized crane and flatbed to move them.
Right.
Then you have to start restoring them. And I'm told
It's
that
worse than
some
looking at it.
restorations are $1 million.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true of the two Highland ones, which are
Mhm.
just kind of painted over. But,
Well, even just your reassurance that it's not gonna be right there.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
that's absolutely clear. It's.
Of course, you know, you're just inviting people to come and be tourists by dumpsters and propane tanks and all kinds of
Yeah.
Yeah,
dangerous and sticky, yeah.
yeah. Especially if kids are climbing around.
If you would like to, I mean, I have a drawing. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this, because I don't have it digitally. I can take a picture of it. If you'd like to leave your contact with Sarah, in any case, I think it'd be good for you. names.
Email addresses.
Okay, perfect. So let me just, I'll figure out a way to show you what this looks like
Okay.
on the site plan. Bear in mind that it's not a professional drawing, right?
Well,
But it'll show you where even,
yes.
but it'll show you what the current thinking is. And I think I'm also starting to think that 200 feet might be a little optimistic. We own 80, that pile.
And did
equals
that come
80.
from where the hotel
Yeah.
is now? So,
We've done
ah,
that,
yeah,
which is how all this got rolling.
Yeah, I remember seeing those rails down there for years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Those are the last 80 feet of what was once a quarter mile of siding. in the
Wow.
past. There were 6 different
Wow.
sidings all the way up to beyond Front Street. I've learned all this since.
It's almost a shame we lost it. We could be using the rail.
Well, there are parts, I don't know if you guys have ridden out when you ride the Duchess Rail Trail, it turns into the Putnam one. Out where Williams Lumber is, the rail trail runs aside the track and it's wonderful. You actually have the sense that you're in a rail situation. I love the rail trail and there
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
many times a week, but you
Oh.
lose the sense that it was really a railroad.
Mhm.
All right, so I'll leave this.
Are you willing to leave it? Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you
I
both.
took a picture of it, so.
Yeah, okay, that's great. So I will, in the next couple of days, you'll get an email from me with what it looks like.
Thank you so much.
And feel free to get in touch. If you've got
I appreciate it.
concerns, it's better to hear them.
Thanks for coming.
Okay,
Appreciate being able to show you this.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much. Sarah, I'm gonna give you that just for the purposes of giving, thanks. So everybody, that actually covered most of what I was gonna say anyway, just that the project is inching along. I did present to the Rotary, seem to have very definitely their blessing. Because, you know, we're kind of thinking of it as a partnership next to this other piece of infrastructure. I think that's it. George, anything to update on the Wells Fargo Bank project?
Just that it's outstanding.
Yeah, really is good.
Every day it goes to another level, the level of detail they did on the porch, the bank, and when they matched the bank, overhangs.
Oh, yeah.
They matched all that detail there.
The front, where the lights, the uplights are, on the side of the building, and the little, garden beds and.
All the
we did-
landscaping.
we did, yeah, all the landscaping, it's
They
beautiful.
pointed up the whole building.
Yeah.
All the brick piers and they have limestone caps on them. And all that limestone I found out was brought in from India, and it custom made in India.
Oh, wow. Wow, what a world. Hope they got under the tariffs.
Yeah, but anyway, it's looking
great.
It's a fantastic,
Yeah.
outstanding job, and I'm glad he was able to buy it, and there's not too many developers that would take it to that level.
Well, that's great. I mean, credit to you. I mean, a lot of that sign can be, I do. Boy, I wish we could look at the original proposal because it's so much better than what.
Oh,
yes.
That's right.
That feels like a victory. I was recently at Dr. Huno's office at 222 Main. We were actually in the process of doing soffits and they've done a bit of siding in the back. It's more or less the same product that Roddy's using, but in board and bucket style.
It's like the one he presented.
Yeah, I think it is the one you presented. And, you know, we pushed as hard as we could push on that.
But it looks very nice.
And the roof is outstanding.
The roof looks
You
good.
know,
The whole building looks nice,
Yeah.
you know, it's
It's definitely a huge improvement.
It's huge, huge.
Yeah,
So,
little victories,
you know, a little bit.
big victory, actually. That's good.
Yeah.
That's what I see. 250th anniversary planning, so, Sarah and I have been to one meeting, and I think Camilla attended that, so three of us attended the first meeting. I could not attend the second, I think Sarah, you could not either. I think maybe Camilla couldn't, she couldn't, no. Anyway, I'm still in the loop there. I'm being very careful about how much time and energy and budget I'm committing to that, but feels very natural that the art show part of that calendar of events. Bill Rhodes has agreed to give a lecture, and that can be under our sponsorship. And I did say we could probably help with some printing or publicity, $100 or something like that. So I think that's going to be the nature of our commitment. But I like the idea that the town and the village are coming together, putting together a calendar of events for different tastes and age groups. So it feels like a good thing to do. Draft code revision for HPC. That is sort of on hold for the moment, but what's more important is what Bill talked about tonight. So Mike Baby has done a terrific job looking at the code, especially chapter 212, and has added a whole lot of proposed language that gets more specific about design standards, what we're looking for, what we're recommending. And the beauty of that is if ratified, that would give us something to point to when somebody comes in. Great, it's not that we don't like it, it's that it doesn't conform to this thing that's in there. So I'll get you that stuff in like a memo or something, and let's plan to talk about it in November, really, like, give it a response.
That'd be great too, because this way, architect or designer can refer to those right off the bat instead of potentially wasting time and energy in the first go around and then learning about, preferences. So that's just a great idea.
Yeah, you must know what that feels like on the other side, right?
Yeah, it's like,
Do this
great,
work
this is what they want.
Yeah.
But this is what they don't want.
Right. No, that's good. And that actually can be kind of parallel. Why don't we say in November, you and I can offer some ideas for DRB guidelines?
Yeah.
Which aren't going to be far off what we're talking about there. So let's call those both November items. Sarah, would you kindly make a note that items 6 and 7 are going to get put on the November agenda? We are expecting the annual report request pretty soon. Usually comes out the fiscal year ends at the end of September, weirdly. So usually around October, early November. You haven't heard anything?
Not yet, but it should be soon.
Good. The new stipend policy. So I still haven't heard from Nancy. She usually is very prompt, but what I asked is, if people want to donate back and refuse to receive that stipend, do we have permission to kind of bank that for, I was thinking especially the art show, but some special need. So I think that should be a private communication to me. If you want to just let me know which way you want to have that. There's absolutely no.
Mine's donated.
No pressure to do. Okay,
Yes.
then, yeah, I think we agree, but I wouldn't want to pressure anybody to give up money. All right, so I will look into that. Sarah, I think what we need to do now is probably make a list of attendance. And just because we can't donate a stipend if we weren't here. So I think, was it Nancy who, I forget who originally, Rosalie?
I thought I came out with Nicole.
I think you're right. It was Nicole
Who sent it out.
yeah, so we should look back into the minutes, which would show us, I think that almost everybody's been here for almost every meeting, but there'll be a couple of
Yeah.
sections, and then we'll just give 1,000 multiplied by 20, yes. But you and I will work that out.
Okay.
But let's record, in the minutes of this meeting that, the four of us have opted to donate it back, and I'll check with Camilla. I think her position is the same. Thank you for doing that, everybody. That's
I'm
very
sure.
nice. Meanwhile, the budget's in great shape, so a third of the fiscal year is gone. We've only spent a little under 11%. That will go up. There's some things that we know are coming, but we're in good shape. Anything for other business?
Huguenot Street report,
Yes, I'm sorry, that was my mistake.
That's okay.
That's usually a standing thing, Sarah. I'm just-
that's okay. Things are pretty quiet on Huguenot Street, other than what happened at S.E. Lewis's house. Spray painted.
Oh, that was on Huguenot Street?
Yes.
And
So,
that's the probably built.
and, I did hear also the herbalist, the Jewett Farm place, the current owners, their car one night was ransacked and kid's bike was stolen. So I don't know if those two events were connected, but that's, usually quiet Huguenot Street. It was just surprising. This month. So, slightly better note, we have an application, I don't have either the application or the street number, but at the corner of Huguenot and Henry Court. Bill, who expanded his living room, that project is pretty much done and it looks very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
So-
161.
161, I walked by and then he was actually walking, Bill, was his,
No, it's still.
Jeff walked by with his dog and I had chatted with him and I said, I thought it looked really nice since he was, as the owner was very pleased with the work that had been done. Some landscaping to be finished and otherwise, pretty good project.
Yeah, yeah, it really came out very well, and there too, I think we contributed a couple of little tweaks. The design was very good out of the blocks, but we contributed a couple of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good.
For 130, which is across the street from us, they're waiting for their architects to get back with a design. They were gonna, they had a sort of a porch in the back of the house, screened in, that they were gonna work to convert into a room, insulated room. And, Dan, the owner, has talked to me, he's considering at some point applying in the future to build a carport up back there. So, and that, there's another carport right around the corner. On Broadhead, so there are, they do exist.
Yep.
That is part of
The
it.
neighborhood.
I was not on the commission when that went through, but, and actually Christine and I, my wife and I we were considering applying to try to do a carport as well. Except we have a very short piece where our cars park, so I'm not really sure. I actually don't even know what the setback would have to be for a carport. Because we don't, while we don't want it to get hit by a plow, it's gotta go fairly close, but we have two small vehicles. So that, we, at some point, I would probably talk to the building department and get some info, and then we would get an architect also, if we could move ahead with that to then present. Here.
Off the top of my head, I think the standard is 25 feet, which is utterly impossible. So when you had that conversation, we would talk about what it would take for a ZBA variance, which I can tell you is not the most fun on earth, but you do have a case that the street is built in a way that doesn't conform to those setbacks.
That's a lot right there, isn't it? It's not, I think it might be 15 feet. I remember looking at it, but anyway, the garage is like,
It may be
certainly within that setback.
Yeah. So, and other than that, Huguenot Street, I think is pretty quiet.
It's great, thank you. I'm sorry for skipping that. It's usually just a standing item. But, you might mention to Dan, it's Dan and
Carol.
Dan and Carol. I know that their architect actually contacted me a couple of months ago. And, I think if they were thinking about a carport, that they may want to don't draw it all up.
Fold that in.
Fold it in if they're back on their thinking. Just because, you know, it might be easier to approve the whole thing and then they can take their time and ask for extensions.
Okay.
Or we can potentially leave it open. And approve one for them. That sounds great. I'm reminded of something, by something you said, so there's a house on North Oakwood, the, Martin House, as we called it. It's landmarked, it's one of the early houses that we landmarked. I just saw that it's, under contract, and that's good news. The realtor contacted me at one point asking about placement of, mini split units. And I said, you know, we would need to review it because the house is landmarked. But if there, you know, I told them what we're looking for, which is back of the house or side with screening. If that happens, I would like not to have to bring people in. Yeah, I mean, if we get assurances that we're placing it,
Yeah.
okay. So I'll communicate that, we can do that for outside meetings as long as they're doing that.
Okay.
Good. If there's no other business, how about a vote to go into executive session? And then we'll end the meeting according to that.
Sure, what we need in, or vote.
Well, I guess the vote would be to enter executive session, and then when we exit, that'll be the end of the meeting, because we'll want to turn off
The topic for executive session.
we don't have to get one.
Okay, I move we go to executive session.
I seconded by George, so moved, seconded, Shane thirded. All those in favor? Okay, so we're in executive